Hi guys, Rebecca here from Laugh So Create and welcome. Today I'm going to take you on a journey of hemming your uniform bottoms or your scrub bottoms, depending which part of the world you're from. Healthcare workers uniform. So I'm going to cover 3 levels. The no-sew version, the hand sew version, and if you are a more advanced sewer, then you probably wouldn't be watching this video, but if you have a sewing machine, I'll be showing you that version too. Why are we talking about hemming scrub pants when you can just drop them off by the tailor to have them hemmed? While it's relatively quick and not too expensive to have your scrub bottoms hemmed, it actually can add up when you have 6 uniforms that you need hemming, especially for the people that are vertically challenged out there that need to have everything hemmed. It can add up. Okay, step 1, you need your bottoms. Step 2, you want to put the bottoms on inside out, and you also want to make sure that you have the actual footwear that you're going to be wearing around the hospital or the veterinary clinic or wherever it is that you're working. Let's start off with basic supplies that you'll need regardless of which level of sewing you're going to be doing, whether you're doing it by hand, by using tape, or by using a sewing machine. The first thing you're going to need is a iron and a ironing board, and I'm sure that most people have that. So an iron and an ironing board. You'll want some pins. If you have safety pins, it might be a good idea to use those, especially if you're doing this by yourself and you're taking your pant bottom on and off a lot so you don't stab yourself. But number 3, you'll need a measuring utensil, whether it is a measuring tape, a ruler, or even a regular ruler. If you're in a real bind, even a carpentry measuring tape, whatever you have on hand, that will be useful as well. Some scissors, some thread if you're going to be sewing them, a marking tool. If you are doing lighter colored scrub pants, you can use a pencil. You could use chalk if you have chalk, air erasable marker, or even in a pinch you can use soap, an old soap bar to mark the line. Okay, another thing that is really helpful is if you'll grab a manila folder or some light cardboard and a pencil. Okay, so I have my scrub bottoms on, and a mirror is also helpful when you're trying to determine the length. Now remember that mine are on inside out, and I'm going to try to do this. I just had surgery, so I'm going to try to bend down and not do too much damage. So, and again, I have my tennis shoes on that I wear to work also. So I'm just going to take some pins, or you can grab some safety pins and fold them up. Now, if you guys see white stuff on my scrub bottoms, it's because I took a shortcut the first time around. I was in a hurry and I used the double or the tape, and so it's left some glue on there, and I've tried everything to get it off, but it won't come off. So it's on the inside of the pants, so it doesn't matter, but just in case you're wondering what that is, no elephant sneezed here. Obviously, if you can have somebody help you, this is better, but okay, and I'm going to use this side as the guide. Okay, so next you're going to grab your manila folder, and where the crease is, I'm going to come down and mark a line across. I'm going to do it 3/4 of an inch, and then also draw another line across at 1.5 inches. Okay, so the first line I'm going to draw is 3/4 of an inch, and then the next is 1.5 inches. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the scissors and I'm just going to cut through at the crease, and then I'm just going to cut further down. So this is 3/4 of an inch, and then this is 1 and 1.5. So next I'm going to go ahead and turn on my iron. And the next bit of work is going to be at the ironing board. For mine, I flipped it up about 3 inches in cuff. And so what we want to do is trim the pant leg. And depending on how much you have to alter it by, we want to make sure that the cuff is going to be 1.5 inches where we cut once it's turned. So depending, you might have 6 inches in a cuff, but what we're trying to do is get it cut down to 1 inch. I am going to press and get a good strong crease. So the first thing I want to do is make sure that I have it turned up consistently all the way around. And I'm working with a measurement from the edge of the pre-hemmed pant. And then I am going to press it. Okay, so I have it pressed and I've measured. It's 3 inches all the way around, so I know that this line that I have pressed is even and level. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this manila piece of cardstock and just cut it about the width of the pant leg. Line it up, just using it as a measuring guide. You could use a ruler, and I'm going to use a piece of soap, and I'm going to trace all the way around my cutting line. Okay. So then I'm going to take my fabric scissors and start cutting. And to be clear, I'm just cutting through that top part. And see, this is where that glue from that double-sided tape won't go away. Okay, so I'm going to continue all the way around. Okay. Now the cuff measures 1.5 inches. So next I'm going to take the pins out because I have a good line with where I pressed it, and I am going to take this cardstock, and here is my 3/4 of an inch hem line. I'm going to slip it in and use that as a line to press my pant leg so that I consistently get that 3/4 all the way around, and press it. And as you remove the cardstock, you can pin it. And you'll proceed all the way around doing that. Up until this point, all the steps were the same. Now this is where, depending on your sewing skill level, is what you will want to do next. So if you have hemming tape, which you can just buy at the store, you can take your hemming tape and follow the directions on the back. So you would take your hemming tape and you would put it just underneath the folded line and hide it there. There's a second component where you just peel it off after you've laid it down. So I'm just going to do a little, as you can see what happened the first time I did this, it stays for a little while and then it kind of washes away. But you would press it and then with your fingers, and then you would pull away the top tape. You just would follow the directions on the back, but the goal is to just then press the seam on top of that. Okay, so just cut a length of thread and thread your needle. probably should have gone with, I don't have light scrubs, so okay, I'm just using a piece of fabric so you can see what I'm doing, simulating a uniform bottom. So grab your thread, needle, thread your needle, and you want to double over your thread and tie a knot at the other end. You'll want to come in behind the fold and bury your knot. And then like so. Now you're going to grab a couple of threads from the back fabric. Now that fabric is where it's going to be visible on the other side, so you want to make sure that you're taking a very small couple of threads. And again, I'm doing it in a contrasting fabric so that you can see it, but you would want to match your thread. And then you would come back and you're going to insert your needle into that fold, and then you're going to run your needle through that fold from the back side of that fold. So, like so. Can't see anything there. The body of the needle is in that fold, and I'm going to run it down and then come out. And then I'm going to grab from the back fabric. So if I flip it over, you'll see two little stitches. Again, those will disappear if you're using the thread that you want to match. Again, bury your needle in that fold and run the shaft of that needle down the fold, inside the fold. And you want to come out about the same distance as you did in your previous stitch. You don't want to pull too tight because then it'll pucker, but you want it taut. So grab a couple of stitches and you're going to repeat that all the way down. And that's how you do the blind hem stitch. And all you need is a thread and needle and scissors, and you can get this done. And then to finish it off, you just grab a little bite out of the back fabric and leave a little loop, and you're going to come from behind and put your needle through that loop to create a knot. And then to hide the tail, you can do it a couple of times too, is you just run your thread again down the crease inside the fold line, and ideally your thread wouldn't knot like that, but then you will cut your thread further down, and that's how you would hem your trousers. Now for hemming on the sewing machine, it's pretty straightforward. I don't have a blind hem stitch or a hemming stitch on the sewing machine. I just have a straight stitch that will work. Okay, so when you're placing it under the presser foot, I still have my pant inside out, and you just want to make sure that the underneath is not caught. You'll want to constantly check to make sure that you're not catching the bottom part. Now, the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I don't have a free arm sewing machine. If you have one of the free arm sewing machines, then you can just slip it on like a sleeve. And again, constantly checking and rearranging your fabric. And I'm just lining up the edge of the presser foot with that fold that I turned under. as usual with every sewing project, the most important part is ironing and pressing your project when you're done for a nice tidy look. And there is one scrub pant hemmed. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more sewing videos that are actually life skills. Bye for now.